Hello and welcome to the Knock On, KCLR and Scoreline.ie's rugby podcast. This week we're joined by Tom Crotty from Carlow Rugby Club. Tom, how's it going?
Not too bad, Stephen. Not too bad at all. I'm delighted
Good
to be
stuff,
on.
Tom. Absolutely. It's great to have you on as well. I know it's a sort of an unusual time. We're sort of at the end of rugby season and all the lines are starting to gear up and everything like that, but we're catching up with our local clubs, Carlow, Kilkenny and Tullow, and we're going to be talking more to you when the season does kick off again with the South East League and that later on in the summer, I suppose. But it's just great to catch up with yourselves because, you know, we were used to talking to you every week during normal seasons, but all that went to the wall with COVID-19 and everything. Tom, you have been back, I presume, the men's teams, ladies' teams and all that, been back for a couple of weeks anyway before shutting down again for the summer. But you're probably mad busy up at the club there with kids and everything and all the underage stuff.
We came back after when it opened up again, mainly with it was all the underage teams. The seniors took a bit of a break because a lot of them are actually going to play a bit of the rugby league during the summer. So we decided that there was no point in them, and we're going to be doing a bit of training. So they got a complete break, and hopefully they'll come back in July for full pre-season, and hopefully be a bit fitter than they were after playing a little bit of league and whatever, football and everything else that goes on. We had all the kids from under 18s right down to the minis up. Great numbers actually, which was surprising. I think that then a lot of the kids were just delighted to do anything. So we had, and we also had the girls back. Our under 14 girls had joined up with Tullow for they call themselves the Rhinos, and it has been a great success. We've 20 something girls between the two clubs. So they've been back as well, and no, it's been really good. It's been busy up there. It was great to see kids and get a bit of life and atmosphere back, and even parents dropping them off and just getting to meet people again.
Yeah, absolutely. I can imagine. Just you were used to probably passing by the club up there and nothing going on in it and the grass getting longer and everything else. But just to see cars in the car park, I think, because I walk out that road, the Oak Park Road, and I run out it quite a lot as well. And it was odd for a while seeing nothing going on anywhere, I suppose. But it's great to see cars back in and a bit of life in the club again.
Yeah, well, it's a lot of work's been kind of going on in the background too. We've had just getting the pace planted up. We've a lot of volunteers helping out over the last couple of weeks. Just tipping. The club is actually looking great. The pitches are unbelievable at the moment. We've there were a bit of rest, give them nothing but the world of good. So, but there's a lot of hard work going in. From the grounds committee and from all the committees that are up there. I have to say, it's just been unbelievable. The places, by the time the season actually starts back in August, I think we have the Leinster Cup in August. I think our first round is Ashbourne, which will be a tough one for the seniors. But by then, the clubs should be in unbelievable nick.
Yeah, absolutely. You're right. A lot of the pitches are looking very healthy because they hadn't been trodden on, I suppose. They're torn up for a while. But no, it's a good complaint to have. You've the Bumblebees up there as well, isn't it? An inclusive team, and that was initiative started recently as well.
Yeah, it's been absolutely. That's actually just got bigger and bigger and bigger since it started a couple of years ago. Everybody involved has been involved with that. It just has gone on leaps and bounds. They're actually doing a summer camp from the 16th to the 20th of August. Or no, sorry, that's the other. It's from the 21st to 23rd of July. They've the inclusive and that, but it's phenomenal, and to see the kids and how happy they are. We're just watching them there. They're having a ball.
Absolutely.
But we hope in time that will move on into adult all inclusive as well. So fingers crossed that it'll just keep going from strength to strength.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the other thing
great
is
stuff.
Yeah, we have there's a lot going on for the summer. Really, we have the ordinary summer camp is sold out, which is we did a lot of registering up in the club, and that's going on from the 16th to the 20th of August. But again, as I said, like, that's sold out. We're absolutely really delighted with that. Couldn't believe it. I think parents want to get rid of their kids, or kids just want to get away from their parents. So that's sold out in no time. And we have the girls give it a try for any young girls who are looking to it. It's the fastest growing part of our game is ladies and girls, especially in the 26th of July for 8 weeks, just once a week from 7 o'clock. Kids from, I think it's from about 10 up to 14, just come along, give it a try. There's no contact or anything like that. So just kind of show them the game, have a bit of fun, and see if they're interested, then might join up next season. And we've also summer touch rugby, which is just a bit of crack. It started last week. It's from 7:30 on a Wednesday night, and it's open to everyone. We even saw a reminiscence of the famous Ian Dwyer goose step. So we've had lads from 55 down. We've had lads from 55 down to 12, all playing together and just having a bit of crack. So we want to try and get that bigger and bigger. It's only fun. There's no charge, no nothing. It's just come up and have a run around for an hour on a Wednesday night.
Absolutely. How bad? Bit of crack. I used to have a huge tag rugby tournament up there as well, but I suppose that took a back seat a few years ago as well, with various different reasons. And of course, you can't do it now with COVID and everything. It'd be very hard to run a tournament like that.
Yeah, well, the tag is funny because it took off really well and then kind of slowed down. I think there's so many other things going on, but the IRFU have been kind of promoting touch rugby because it's more of a near thing to actual rugby, but it's also there's also international. There's an international touch rugby team, and Ireland have done quite well in that, and they've travelled all around the world. So they're hoping in the future that'll take off more.
Yeah, that's good. So your senior players are your main teams are on your summer break for a while. When you got them back, Tom, and they came back training, did the numbers came back fairly okay? Yeah,
the numbers today. We've our main aim is actually and it's not recruitment; it's retaining the players that we have and trying to get the players. We have a few players that are coming back from that finished college, and it's trying to get the players that were there, local lads, just getting them back playing rugby. And that's the key in the club at the moment. The real thing is to rebuild. It's to start from the kids, put the effort in. It's just to see people playing sport. I know, like, we all want to get back to winning Towns Cups, but that's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take time, and the club has been rebuilding. It's in probably financially and stuff is hitting towards better than it was in a long time, and it's trying to get back the family atmosphere in the club is the most important thing, and that's why we seem to have, like, we're one of the few clubs that actually we're able to run 3 senior teams. We had J1, J2, and J3, and which was great. That's where we are at the moment.
All right, your line is dropping off a small bit there, Tom. But we'll keep going nonetheless as well. Yeah, great to have 3 teams like that. The J3s must be a bit of crack. A couple of lads that are sort of half thinking about coming back, play a few matches and then head off again. See, is the old spark still there?
Well, that's it. I think they had a couple of dark horses that came out of the wood, disappear again when you try and get them to move up the line a bit. So I think it's a bit of crack. I know they had good games, and they played a lot of games in Dublin, played a few of the Dublin teams as well. So look, it's all a bit of banter, a bit of crack. So hopefully we get that going again. If we can get that going again, as I say, just look, isn't the main thing just our kids and our people, just the kids, the lads and can get out, and ladies can get out and have a bit of crack, and hopefully get into a few pints after.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. The social side of it is a huge part of it as well. It's a great outlet for people and everything as well. You were saying you're quite busy with kids at the club and everything like that. So that the minis must be a good few up there at the weekends. And I think children in general are getting more interested in rugby. I see numbers are increasing at a lot of different clubs, even talking to Tullow and Kilkenny. They're curious, I think, watching their Johnny Sextons and all that, playing for Ireland, that they just want to give it a go and see what it's like.
Yeah, we've had a big increase in numbers of minis over the last couple of years. It's trying to retain them when they get to kind of 16, 17, 18 years of age is the hardest thing. You know, they've come up along the lines. What we're trying to do is just, it's so important that kids play sport, and that's GAA. So, and to let the kids in the summertime to forget about the rugby, go off and play GAA for the summer, come back to us then in the winter. If we can all stick to try and keep it, you know, that you can interact between the sports, it'll do everybody the world of good. And like our minis came back with huge numbers, and we said then it came to a time where they were starting the soccer, there's everything else starting off. So off you go for the summer and come back to us in September.
Yeah, absolutely. You have a couple of ex-Carlow players, I suppose, doing pretty well for themselves on a professional level. Tom Daly was one of your club players, went up through that avenue, I suppose. And what player of the year in Connacht this year, you could say? He was voted by the club anyway, I think, there during the week, was it? As one of the standout performers this season. He's absolutely flying it over there.
Yeah, Tom he got the supporters player of the year. So that has to be a good sign that, you know, that everyone watching him is delighted with him. But the two boys, it's gas, Ed Byrne and Tom, both of them played minis together. And they were actually on a team that won a Kettle Cup back under 10s. I think it was under 10s or under 11. And Bryan was there as well. They all played together.
Yeah.
So they've been an integral part of the club. Tom has just played. I think he actually played a senior match at just 18 years of age. Played one of our own senior matches and then went off and did his own thing. And we're so proud of the two boys. And in fairness, both of them come back and have actually both of them are kind of the representatives for the bees as well. They're the ambassadors for the bees, and they're always like Ed has come. The two Byrne brothers actually have come back at times and given a dig out with training. There's, you know, any bit of time that they have, they're so good, I have to say, and we're so proud of them. Absolutely proud of them.
Yeah, absolutely. Bryan is doing a great job with Bristol. You know, he's come on a fair bit over there as well. Ed has got capped for Ireland this year and everything as well, you know, making huge progress with Leinster. And I think the move to Connacht for Tom was, as Tom has said himself here on the podcast, he said it was, you know, it was a great move for him because he's got nothing but game time. I think he had 15 starts in a row or something like that at one stage this season. It's incredible stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's good. There's just so many. It's gas like from the southeast. There's so many players starting to come through. Club players no longer, you know, not school. It's no longer just a school's game. There's players coming from it. Like we've our own young fella there, Barry Gray's just made it onto the Leinster under-20 squad. And like Barry is in school in KCLR, has been playing all the way through. Like even with the Irish under-20s there, there's prop from Enniscorthy and another winger from Wexford. So like, and there's actually another player. He's the captain Connacht as well from Gorey. So like they're all southeast players. They're coming from our own area, and a lot of the lads that have played through this, gone up through the, you know, the banged heads together at club level and then played for the southeast together, and some of them moved on to different provinces, and hopefully some of them will make Ireland again.
Absolutely. Sure, Tyke Furlong was a product of the club side of it as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's New Ross and came through that system.
Yeah.
You know? So it's there. It's good for young fellas. You know, the training is super. Just down the southeast, I have to say, the kids get such. We have a few down. Tulla have a few down there as well. So like, there's a lot of local kids getting that little bit of extra training, and hopefully bring them through when they go to college and on further.
Absolutely, and you've got a couple of lads like the Tom Dalys and the Byrne brothers blazing the trail there and giving kids that sort of belief that, you know, you play well, keep the head down and stick with the rugby, and God knows where you'll end up.
Yeah, it's a funny old game because like we have that's what we're trying to do. We're just trying to bring kids to. Look, if kids play the game, people are saying like a little thing with the girls join together with Tulla, and people say, God, Tulla and Carlow never join together with them or get on. But times have changed. It's about getting kids out there. It's about getting, you know, kids playing the sport. we have to say, while I'm on this, congratulations to Des Kavanagh staying on as he getting another year as president of the IRFU. And Des would have been a huge influence in youth rugby going on right up through Leinster, but in our own club starting off coaching. So, I mean, it's there for everyone to succeed.
Yeah, absolutely. For people only tuning in, Des Kavanagh was the president of Leinster Rugby the year they won the first Heineken Cup in 2009, and now he's the head of the IRFU. And I suppose there's a terrible irony in it as well. The year he becomes president, everything's in COVID, so there's no crowds, and a lot of the stuff he would have been doing, I suppose, as president for Ireland, representing the country and the union, is all went out the window, as he said himself to us in an interview recently. So I suppose disappointing in that way, but great to have a Carlow man at the top as well.
Absolutely, yeah. We're so proud of him. It's Stuart Bailey there. He's the honorary secretary of Leinster branch as well. So, I mean, it's just great to see local people just involved, you know, at that level. And as I say, it's good for Carlow as a county, and also good for the southeast as a region.
Yeah, absolutely. I was talking to Ed Byrne a few weeks ago, and he was talking about how things go full circle. And of course, again, a lot of people mightn't realise Felipe Contepomi played for Carlow once upon a time. There's a photo hanging up in the bar there of him taking a penalty. But you were talking about Tom Daly and the Byrne brothers playing a blitz. They were playing a blitz in, I think it was against Shannon or something, or they were down in Limerick anyway. They were playing on a pitch out the back, Tom, Ed and Bryan. And when they were finished, they ran across to the railings to have a look at Felipe Contepomi playing for Carlow against probably the Paul O'Connell was probably part of that side as well. They were playing against that day. So it's amazing the way things work out, like, and you don't realise eventually you'll be playing on that pitch yourself and he'll be your coach as well. It's a funny old game. Yeah,
and I think there's so many kids coming through that have parents that you know, have played even in their own club. There's where, you know, you're on the second generation or third generation of players coming in, and but that's what we like to see. I mean, the club is a family, should be a family. We would consider ourselves that, you know, that the one thing about the game is rugby as a whole. It's one of those sports all you have to do is walk into a rugby club anywhere in the world, and you know, you're welcomed. It's and which is a great thing in your kids. Hopefully, when they go off traveling around the world, it's, you know, they can walk into a club and put on a pair of boots.
Absolutely. Yeah, so next couple of weeks, touch rugby and anything. Can anyone drop up and play, Tom, or what's the story if people want to knock up to the club?
Well, if you have a heartbeat, you're more than welcome. It's open to anyone. As I say, we started off last week. I think there was 12 there. Last night there was 20 there. A couple of more, and what we'll be able to do is split into teams and have a bit of a kind of rally around between different sides and have a bit of crack. So look, everyone is welcome. That's what summer should be about, is having a bit of fun. Yeah. As I say, like, there was 4 lads over 50 start. So if that's anything to go by,
trying to see that they still have the magic.
Well, I don't know about that. You try and make a break and suddenly realise you have a hamstring or something, which you never had before. So, but look, it's fun. It's fun.
It's a bit of fun, exactly. And the slagging is part of it as well, sure. That has to be done.
Oh, absolutely.
That's it. Tom, before we let you go, anything else you want to say, I suppose, on behalf of the club or anything?
No, just we hope to push ahead next season and just bring the club on itself from, you know, to make it stronger. So, we've a lot of work going to go into it now. We've our 150th anniversary next year. We're one of the 4 oldest clubs in the country. So we'll have a big year coming up with that. A lot of work going to go into it in different events and so on. So that's kind of something that we're kind of working towards at the moment. But no, just we hope to push on and bring the club a little bit further along each year, and both maintaining, as I say, the thing of being a family and have been there as long as we have, and that we just continue on and bring on the next generation of players. Yeah, I'd like to put a big congratulations out to Tim Corkery as he's starting for the Irish under-21s or the Irish under-20s against Wales at the weekend. So congratulations to Kilkenny and Tim.
Yeah, absolutely. Another product of club rugby as well. Doing very, very well. It's a big part of the club down there too. No, it's great. It's great for the Southeast and the local clubs here as well, that with such great representation at a provincial and national level. So fair play to him. Tom, it's been great catching up with you. We're going to talk to you a bit more when the season comes around again, and we'll be able to check in on Carlow every week and see how he's getting on, who he's playing. I'm sure have a bit of crack with the other clubs as well, and especially in the days he's playing each other. No, that's it.
No, thanks, Stephen. It's been a pleasure, absolute pleasure. Something to do in the afternoon. I didn't expect, so there we go.
There you are. Absolutely. Tom Crotty is with Carlow Rugby Club. You've been listening to the Knock On Rugby podcast on Scoreline.